What's going on? Welcome to the podcast. Got a question for you. Tired of not having good swag? Tired of your wardrobe looking bland? Need some heat when you hit the streets? I got that solution. That aggressive M. McLean Circle. The circle, if you will. You can always go to lsmclean.com. There's a link right there to my store. Laced. Or you can always go to @McLean_circle on IG. Laced. Do yourself a favor. Go to the circle. Get this heat. And I'm going to do you a favor. Use code Let's Eat at checkout. And I'm going to say you some cheese. Because that's how I do. The circle. Join it. See you there. Now let's get started with this podcast.
Ayo, it's podcast time. Let's do it.
Boom, we're on this thing. All right.
Yeah.
It is go time, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy LS, aka Bro Rogan. I am back with yet another podcast, with yet another amazing guest, with yet another powerful young woman that moves mountains, both socially and physically. This one's super near and dear to my heart because she's one of mine. That's as male chauvinistic as I could be. I'm claiming her already. She's one of mine. A super hard worker. Some people could call her up and comer. If you're me, you already knew she had it beforehand, so it's not like she's coming from anywhere. She's killing it. I don't even know where to start. All the dudes want to be with her. All the girls want to be her. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jasmine. Thank you for being on this, man. I appreciate you for being on this. So now that we got the intro out of the way, now we got formalities out the way, let's get to the thick of things. For those people in this world that we live in, that live under a rock, that don't know who you are, give us a quick rundown of who you are.
So I'm Jazz. You already know that. I am a proud Mexican bean. I stand up for the flag. I'm really, really just a counseling student. Want to make a difference in the world any way I can. Want to do counseling with addictions or just like foster care. I'm sorting all that out. Got into powerlifting because I never got to do it. So finally I have a chance to do it. I wasn't scared. I had help and now I'm here. And so I want to make the best out of it, trying to grow a little community here in San Antonio and in Texas, pretty much just through me and my roommates and best friends business, HCPL, which is Honorable Community Powerlifting. We just want to like connect a bunch of people together. The more people you talk to, the more you realize that they feel like they can't talk to anybody. So I would just like to feel that everybody's open to talk to me about whatever they need and just help as many people as I can.
Facts. Nicely done. Nicely done. So your journey into powerlifting is I mean, everyone has like a different journey that like leads them into the whole lifting thing. What was your journey to here? Like, I mean, I'm assuming that you played sports, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're pretty athletic, so I mean, I'm assuming that you have an athletic background. And it's weird because I already know, but you know, those people out there, they don't know. Kind of give people like a I guess your come up, like how you came to become the lifter that you are presently.
Well, it is quite a journey. Yeah, I started in high school pretty much with track and volleyball. Those are my two loves. Volleyball was the first one. It's pretty crazy. I got injured more in volleyball than I do now in powerlifting, but you would think it's the other way around. Volleyball, I got to play in college for 2 years. I got to coach for like 2.5 years. So I was on a traveling club team, coaching girls all over Texas. Once I kind of got that out of the way, I was just doing I wanted to do the whole bodybuilding thing. I wanted to do the whole like shows, the bikini or the figure, anything. I was out in Houston at the time. I was in a clinical psych PhD program, and I think all of that pretty much hit me pretty hard, like all the stress, being away from home, culture shock, all that stuff. even though it was an HBCU, like I had a lot of fun. It was
Right.
great. I didn't know how to handle so much stress, I guess, like the whole PhD program, all that stuff going down. There was not that good stuff going down in the program itself.
Right.
So I got pretty hit hard with, like, I was like drinking a lot, I was eating like really bad. I had like a slight binge eating disorder. I even caught myself to the point where I was like, in a trigger warning, I was just trying to make myself like throw up or like
Yeah.
work all the calories off. Like it was just not very healthy. So I also discovered that like the clinical psych route wasn't really what I wanted to do. It wasn't just talking to people, it was more like testing, and
Right.
I wasn't really getting to the butter of everything.
Right.
So I figured counseling would be better because you just talk to people, you're not there just trying to test them. So I got into the program here at UTSA. Um, I dabbled a little bit with the powerlifting, like trying to get on the team out at the HBCU and Prairie View. But when I came to San Antonio, UTSA is very well known for powerlifting, thanks to all the wonderful individuals that came through the school. I know I met Ashton here, and I met a lot of other people here that kind of introduced me to powerlifting. Santiago Ramirez, Frida, a bunch of people at TSS that I train with all the time, and they kind of like were like, just try it, go ahead, try it. They talked to me about the federations. They kind of told me, okay, if you want to do the tested, you have to go through USAPL. So I really didn't know anything. And I
Right.
was just at the rec trying to lift as much as I could with the worst form, with like no program. I was just going hard every day. I didn't know what fatigue management was. Like more rest is better. Like I didn't know any of that. I was just going
Right.
ham. So then I stumbled across a coach, was with him for a couple of months, and then didn't work out. And then I got with you in July.
That's crazy.
I got with you in July. And I think what caught my eye was that you were just super laid back and cool, and you had already 2 IPF world titles. I was like, who better to get? So
Yeah, I
yep.
appreciate it. Hey, man, let's be clear. Everyone listening, everyone watching, just because your coach got a little bit of shine, don't make them a good coach. I'm gonna put that on record. I don't know where the record is. We'll pretend like this is the record. But yeah, just because you have a coach that has, some success on the platform does not a successful coach make. So, I'm gonna call it how I call it. Not to cut you off, but that's a thing that I've noticed, man. A lot of people, they get a meet or two under the belt, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to coach. Nah, son, that's not the move. And a lot of people, they look for a coach. Don't necessarily look for a coach just because they have success. You want to you want to look for a coach that that's working, that's constantly working to get, even if they are a good lifter. That's, no knock on those that are, but just because they're good on the platform doesn't necessarily they're good with the programming. So try to find a coach that works just as hard on both ends, more so harder on the programming end than they do the platform side, because it's going to prove very beneficial in the long run. Secondly, I will definitely say, because obviously I was there. The cool thing about, and again, for you coaches, this is a cool thing that I can point out as far as Jazz goes. Jazz is she's a unique athlete in that, you get a lot of athletes don't necessarily know what they want, but they understand the direction that they want to go. And she was one of those unique ones that she kind of had an idea where she wanted to go, but just needed a guide as to how to get to where she wants to go. And I think a lot of coaches, especially at this level, if you have the opportunity, if you are blessed enough to be able to be selective in terms of the people that you take on, the type of people that you want to take on are obviously those people that represent what you represent as much as possible. But at the same time, those type of people that are, good individuals that have have an idea of the direction they want to go, and or, look for your guidance and help to get to that, get at least headed in the right direction. Now, not necessarily saying that you have the map to get there, but if you're able to take those steps with them to get there, that's even sweeter. And so I think for me, it's always been really cool, just because dealing with you, it's like, while I've been to the mountaintop and I know what it takes to get there, but it's also super sweet to take that journey with you, because I'm like, you know what, man, we'll put one foot in front of the other. You know what I'm saying? We're not looking past anything. Let's enjoy it, because I know what it was like when I did it. You know what I mean? So again,
Mm.
um, I would definitely suggest, you know, both lifter and coach, when you're trying to find that lifter, when you're trying to find that coach, find somebody that reciprocates the passion that you have towards, the perfection that you're pursuing, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Um, like I feel like, Jazz is one of many that I've been blessed to have that definitely reflect exactly what I'm trying to do in terms of get better, become a better version of yourself, and just bring as many people with you as possible. Um, do you, and this is, I guess this leads into the next question because I got all of them. Do you feel like that want and desire to help other people, is that just something that's just like this innate thing that you've always had, or is it something that just kind of started to develop over the years?
I think it really started when I felt like I started how do I how do I say it? And it's super blessed that this happens,
Yeah,
but like since high school sports, like okay, to put it to you this way, I remember one of my first days at UTSA, the rec at the gym, there was like two or three females that came up to me, and San Antonio's not that far from my hometown. So
yeah,
they came up to me and they were like, "Are you Jasmine?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" They're like, "Didn't you play volleyball at such and such high school? You were this number." Like I always loved going to your games and like watching you. And I was like, "Do you like did we ever talk? Like I don't remember being friends with you. Like not in a bad way."
yeah,
But they're like, "No, we would just hear about you. We saw you one time and we just kept going back to see you." And I was like, "That's freaking crazy." Like,
yeah,
I remember when they told me that, I started crying. I was like, "Are you serious?" And you still remember till this day. They're like, "Yeah, like we would go to your games. We wouldn't even talk to you. We would just go to watch you
yeah.
and then we would leave." And it still happens like with powerlifting. And that's super, like, that's blessed. I don't know where it came from or where what, but I think I just have to since seeing that since high school, like constantly being told that or like having people come to me just for like support. I just kind of took it upon myself to like try and be that person and just put on a good example or like help others or just like be there. A lot of people are like now asking me, what was it like your first meet, and like what does it feel like, and how do you deal with this, and how do you deal with that, or hey, I'm having a rough day. Like they'll just come randomly,
Yeah.
and it's happened so much that I have to really take that into consideration, be really mindful of that, and just like try and give back as much as I can. I mean, we're all human. We have our days. There's days where I'm not the
Facts.
best. And I'm like, yo, I can't do this today. Like I get really overwhelmed. But it's something that feels really nice to have. Like I feel really blessed that people feel comfortable enough and they feel like they can come to me for things.
I'm with that. I'm with that. No, you touched on a lot of things. I do. Okay. I have so many. I literally just
Don't
as
laugh.
you no really as you talk, I'm like, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. I could just like I literally formulate my questions just based off of, it's way easier just to be conversational. Um, so you talk about hitting those points in life where you just feel like, yo, it's too much. I just I need a break from it. Um, how important has it been for you just up to this point? I mean, you're a youngster or whatever, but how important has it been for you up to this point in protecting your peace in terms of just life in general? Because you have a lot on your plate. Um, and a thing that I am hearing is like there's a point of self realization, like, you know what, this is too much for me at this particular point in time. I need to remove myself from the situation in order to to get my head screwed on straight. Um, number one, how important is it to you to protect your peace, and at the same time, what are some things that you do personally that you use to protect your peace?
So it's super important. It's super important. If you let too much, let's say you let too many waves get in your boat, you're gonna sink.
Facts.
So I think I've just tried to be, and I'm super lucky because I'm in the counseling program. You learn all this stuff, but
Right.
I think I've just learned how to, and it sounds weird to say, but detach, like it's your problem.
Yeah.
I'm here to help. I can help you and I can be by your side, but I can't fix it for you.
Okay.
So that's kind of the approach I take, and I just try and be supportive. And if I see something that contradicts what they're saying, I'll go ahead and point that out. If I don't get the right response or like I get a negative response, I'm like, yo, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to help.
Right.
And protecting my peace to me means just like I always think of it like I can't pour from a cup that's empty. And if I
Facts.
try to do that, I'll just I'll be giving you just like not what you need. You don't,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't serve you, and then I can't serve myself. And so things I do to just refill my own cup is, I love being outside. I love being in the sun. I love just taking time to just go places, see different cities, go to the beach is like my number one thing. So I'm so excited that Nats is at Daytona Beach. Like, after my
Yeah.
last deadlift, you're gonna catch me at the beach. I'm not gonna be nowhere near nobody else. I do that. I like to go and see my family.
Yeah.
uh since I moved away, I haven't lived at home for like three years now. So I like to go see them. I like to escape to go see them, and it helps that my brother just had a baby. So now I'm like
Yeah.
occupied with that. I'm gonna go see him and um hold his little creature. And that's one way I refill my cup, is family. Another thing is just traveling. Something that I do so only, I just like to just take a hot bath, do skincare, like just watch my favorite shows. I munch
Yeah.
on like all the snacks. I love Reese's Pieces, so I just munch on snacks. I try and just like chill myself out and,
Facts.
like I said, detach and then come back later.
That's what's up. Just like prioritizing your time and your emotional investment. Um, I'm with that. I think one of the cool thing in it, this is cool. I like talking about this because this is something that's super near and dear to me, just because like people like my close friends, the people that know me that have grown up with me, they know that I pretty much have two families. I have my black family, whatever, and then I have my next door neighbors, down the street neighbors, my family dos, my second family, and they're Mexican. And growing up, you grow up with this, my dad's part Native American, so you grow up with this pride of this black pride, this this Cherokee pride, but then you learn about Mexican culture, about Latino culture, and you just you fall in love with a whole different culture, a whole different type of culture that you're not necessarily used to. But it kind of it's kind of a cool thing in that at the root of it, um you know black culture, African American culture, it all stems from like tribal culture. Same thing with Native American, and I mean, if you dig deep enough, you realize that Mexican culture comes from the same thing. And so
Oh yeah.
there's this deep root of family and honor, and just it's just weird, just community. And so one of the cool things, like being around you, especially like, here lately, a lot of what you do reminds me of my second sisters. They remind me of my second cousins. They remind me of like my whole second family, because there's such a big swelling. What's the word I'm looking for? Like it's like a big swelling aura about you that screams Mexican pride, right? And I can 100% tell you that is one of my favorite things about you. Obviously, as a coach, um, is the pride that you have, and it's not just obviously the pride itself is one thing, but the pride in one's culture is such a huge thing. And people that like, I grew up in West Texas, you know what I mean? And so in West Texas, man, there's a high, especially Mexican population, and there's this pride that you have, and there's all these quinces that they have, and there's all these, you know what I mean, like all these dinners that you get to go to, and you know what I mean. And if you're lucky, you get invited to be a date at the quince. It's like, oh my god, and it's like mariachi and all these things like that people will never have an opportunity to experience, that come directly from Mexican culture. That it sucks because even though I live so close to San Antonio, I don't get a chance to experience it so much like I did when I was home. And so a
Oh.
lot of that, that you do. Shout out to Sean, because I keep telling him to I need him to play, but he's in a mariachi band. I keep telling him I need you
I
to play.
gotta tell him I can sing.
Yeah, dude.
I can't sing. I can't sing. I can
Listen,
try.
let me put you on to something even crazier. Our across the street neighbors, they had a Tejano band. And so when me and my sister were younger, we used to go next door. We used to sing. We used to sing for them.
Oh
And
gosh.
they would teach us the songs, and the guy was teaching me how to play bass and play guitar. And I mean,
Oh.
it's just, yeah, man. So like where I live, where I'm from, there's such a huge influence of Mexican culture, that it's when you're not around it, you miss it. When I lived in different places all over the US, I missed a lot of that. And so being around you and just seeing that pride that you have, it reminds me so much of home and how the people are where I'm from. That pride, man. I want to talk about that, man, because again, it's it's not like it's a super unique thing that no one else has, man. But you know, the cool thing is, like, you are like literally half a shade away from just going out of your way to let people know, hey, Mexican pride. And I love that. That's one of my favorite things about you. Where, you know, and I mean that in the nice way, because you're not overboard with it. But it's like, if you weren't that way, I don't know that I would see you the same, to be 100 with you. So I think it's a, for me, it's a real cool thing watching. Where did that Mexican pride? I mean, obviously I know where it comes from, but what is it in you? It just like, it's hard to explain, because I know how I feel in terms of being a black man. I know that pride that I feel, and and I'm willing to tell any and everybody about it. But like, is there just what is, I guess, I mean, it sounds so corny, but where does that come from? Like, just that
I think
pride.
it's just the stigma. It's the stigma that it still kind of exists, not really, but more than ever now, I guess, now that like my page is coming across other people, since that page came up with Latina lifters, like they've been the most amazing. And
Absolutely.
man, all the females, the women that followed me, they always are constantly like, you inspire me so much and this and that. And I really feel like it has to do with like the root of like, Mexican women are not supposed to be in the gym. Like they're not
Facts.
supposed to be there. My
Facts.
grandma, my mom, my aunt, they're like, wow, that looks dangerous. Why are you doing it? Or no, like
Yeah.
lifting weights is not good for you. It's still, I hate to say it, it's still ingrained. And so
Yeah.
I I've always been the only athletic one in my family.
Right.
Swear to God. The only one. Everybody else, my cousin's in med school, my brother's in the army, every other female doesn't really do any sports, athletics,
Right.
they don't work out. The most they do is run. So I'm really the only one that puts myself out there like that.
Right.
I'm also the only one that's ever done anything with mental health.
Right.
So it's just always like I want to be different. I want to just be out there. And I just think that the stigma of like women are not, especially, Mexican women, they're not really typically seen that way. It's not
Mhm.
popular in Mexico. It's not popular anywhere else.
Absolutely.
I know a few people who powerlift in Mexico, but it's not as big as it is here, and it's not
Yeah.
as normal. So I think just putting it out there, like it's okay to be Mexican, a
Mhm.
female, and powerlift. It's totally
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. I can say from my own personal experience, since, actually really since adding you, not necessarily to my circle, but really just actually having you in my life, and people realizing like, oh, like he coaches her, like, we damn near talk on a daily basis in some form or fashion. Um, I've gotten a lot of, Latinas that reach out, just being nice, being sweet, like you're doing a great job, it looks like you care. And it's weird because like I'm not like my last like 5, 6, women that I've added, they've all been Latina. And it's
Wow.
it's it's different, because I mean, I think I'm able to, I don't, and again, this is just me, just because of the way I grew up. For me, it just reminds me a lot of home, in that, women in general, programming for women and coaching women in general, that being able to listen first before, before you program, that helps a lot. Um, and if you grew up, with I have four Latina sisters, you learn early, like, hey, bro, shut up, listen. They'll tell you what you want, or what they want rather, and then you can work around that. You know what I mean?
You know,
That's yeah,
that's our blood run hot, so you can't
yeah,
argue
bro.
with
Like,
us.
with 0 to 100 so fast. You know what I mean? But then like my papa does. He put it this way, and I was actually talking to one of my cheerleaders. Shout out Julie, one of my Latinas, on my cheer squad. I was like, she said the thing. She goes, bro, we get mad so fast. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't understand until my papa does. He put it in the most plain, most beautiful, eloquent way, and it makes so much sense to me. He's like, well, because I used to date nothing but Latinas. Like, that's all what is Latina, Latina. And so, like, that was my absolute downfall. And like, I'm like, bro, but I like, We make it like 3 months. Then they start yelling at me. I don't know what I do wrong. He's like, all right, I'm gonna ask you this. He goes, I want you to be honest. He's like, do you do everything she asks you to do? I'm like, pretty much, damn near. He's like, you can't. I'm like, okay. He's like, but when she gets mad, what do you do? I'm like, I mean, I kind of take it for a little bit, and I'm like, hey, you gotta chill out. Okay, that's pretty good. He's like, here's the next question. She's like, is she a daddy's girl? I'm like, they've all been daddy girl. He's like, there you go.
What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for listening or watching this podcast, depending on what form of media you're using. Number one thing I want to let you guys know about. I need you guys to go check out Bare Performance Nutrition, one of the greatest, best tasting supplements out there. And rule number one, they're very, very, very clean. So if you're an athlete, get tested, guess what? BPN is what you need to use. Now, you can either go to bareperformancenutrition.com to check them out, and or you can go to IG and go to @BPNSubs, or if you just don't want to do any of that and you want to just find an easier way to go to that, well, I got it. You can always go to lsmcclain.com, and there's a link on the page that you can get to Bare Performance Nutrition. Now, at checkout, I need you to use this code. Use the code Let's Eat, and you'll save at the end of checkout. Thank you guys very much. Let's get back to the show.
He's like, the bigger the daddy's girl, the hotter the blood's gonna run. I'm like, for real? He's like, absolutely. And I really never paid attention to it. He's like, he's like, for him, he goes, that's his stereotype. He goes, I never say no to my girls. I never say no to them. 4 of them, right? I never say no to them. And so when they don't get their way, that guy's got to pay for it. I'm like, for real? So this whole time, this no joke, from that point on, I was like, all right, cool. I would like, so are you and your dad really close? Yeah. But you know what, man? I don't think this is going to work out. Like, I just
no for me, dog.
Like, yeah, I'm going to have to pass. But I mean, it's funny saying it now, thinking, looking back on it, man. But it's one of those things where, like, that's like one of the biggest stereotypes, that's out there, that it's like, I want to say like 8 out of 10 true. Like, the one thing that Latinas do run hot, quick, but they love hard. So it's like, I mean, you get, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and again, I can really liken that to women in general. A woman will tear your head off, bro. But women just love so much harder than dudes. So like, if you don't get it right, it's about to be a wrap for somebody. So like, I feel that. But I just, man, I still to this day, I don't get it right. I'm like, listen, man, I'm messing up. I know I'm gonna get yelled at, so I'm just gonna shut up, pretend like, it wasn't my fault, but it was my fault. So
she'll be fine. Just leave her alone.
Yeah, man, just leave her alone. You know what I mean? But then this is the thing, though, because like, hey, leave me alone, and then you leave him alone, and then you get in trouble because you left him alone.
It was too long. You left him alone too long.
Yeah, bro. Like, listen. Here's this God's truth 100. I am not a mind reader. You tell me to leave you alone, I'm gonna take it at face value. Like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna make it then. I'm gonna see you when I see you, and I'll just get up, get in the whip, and I'll just drive off for an hour or two, whatever. Go to the gym, whatever. I'll come
with
back.
Nerly.
Yeah, man.
Drive off with Nerly.
Yeah, dude, I'll drive off with the pups. I'm like, all right, man. Listen, I'm good. I'll come back, still mad. I'm like, what did I do? So I'm like, you know what? I give up. But yeah, that was one of the coolest things, man, that I've noticed, is like, you have so much pride, and a lot of that pride, of course, is based off, obviously, your personality and everything. It bleeds to so many different people. And I think the coolest thing I've been seeing here lately, and maybe I just noticed more because like I have you around, is just that pride. I mean, I honestly have not seen that display of Mexican pride in so long, again, since I've been home. And it's just, dude, it makes me feel so good, because I'm like, all right, cool. Like, everybody's showing this pride. Everyone's showing like, hey, this is where I'm from. Like, you always got your Mexican flag like ready to rock at all times. Like, I rock with that, man. And again, I don't know, man. I get lucky, dude, because I really have some of the dopest people. And don't get me wrong, you guys are strong, but I mean, I think some of the best personalities that a coach can have. So I'm able to kind of, draw inspiration from all you dudes. I think the the cool thing that I've noticed with you, because I mean, not everyone's had the same journey, of course. Everyone's journey has been different, and everyone's battles with their own battles. You know, um, a big thing I think that attracts people to you is your self-esteem, and um and just how you're very self-aware, you know what I mean, and your self-esteem, you have a high self-esteem, and I believe you have a respectful and respected view of yourself, which obviously leads to an even stronger self-esteem. But um is that something that just has always been such a strong point with you, is your self-esteem, or is that something that you've had to battle with, working on self-esteem, and or as you've grown, it's gotten stronger?
Well, I think I had poor self-esteem before I started powerlifting. Once I started it and once I started like getting the hang of it, I think I
Yeah,
gained so much confidence and
right.
just like I used to be ashamed. So I'll tell you, like I used to weigh like 130 something, which to me is not normal because I'm already built pretty hefty. Like I'm built pretty big. So like to make myself go down that much in weight was just wild.
Yeah,
And I wasn't as confident, even though like you could have said I
right.
wasn't as confident as I am now. Like I like showing off my triceps. I like showing off these belts. Like
Oh, we know.
I sized I sized up with the dudes in the gym. I'm like, who's bigger? Like I just got so much more confident doing this, you know?
Right.
Like I just think it's really some type of part of me that is just like, well, I'll never know if I don't try. So might as well just try
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. Um, so it then I mean I can attest to that, man, because I think because of powerlifting is one of those things, like regardless of how successful you are maybe on the platform, training, there's so much carryover from training in that you're constantly pushing yourself for more, more, right? And
Bigger,
then
better goals.
absolutely. And so in order to get to that next level, you have to push yourself beyond that comfortable point. So you do it over and over and over. And I feel like much like the
Hmm.
micro tears that you put in your muscles, the micro tears you put in your body in order to rebuild itself, those are the same micro tears that you have to put in your mind to rebuild your mind. So like, you know what? I'm not very confident in the fact that like I got to squat 405. What? Man, I've never done that before. That's more than double my body weight. Yeah, but you got to do.
Like that 430 deadlift this last meet. I was like, I've never done that before.
Yeah, dude. But it's like, and I think with powerlifting is one of those things, especially, and again, this is leaning back into the whole coaching thing. And please believe I'm not plugging. I'm just saying you have to have, like, for me at least, with my coaches, I have to feel like they believe in me just as much as I believe in myself. And if there ever
Hmm.
is a point where I don't believe in myself, guess what, fool? You got to pick me up. And so I feel like that's of such paramount importance in terms of being a coach. A lot of people call themselves a coach, but there's come times that you're not just coach, you got to be counselor. And if you can't be counselor, sometimes you just got to be pops. If you can't be pops, sometimes you got to be moms. Like sometimes you got to be all of the above. You got to be sometimes what your lifter needs. And not necessarily wants. But I feel like a lot of times that confidence that you exude, that confidence that you have in your lifter, that confidence you have in that other person, it bleeds over into them. And so I feel like a lot of times with powerlifting, confidence grows because confidence is given. Um,
Hmm.
Confidence grows because confidence is tested on a daily basis. Um, so you know, I like to think. I mean, for me, it's dope watching you guys because I know that if you do get your PR, whatever it may be that day, I know that was not only a physical but a mental PR, because I know somebody doubted something at some point, like, ooh man, I don't know. I'm excited about this, but man, I don't know. And so,
Yeah.
even though you can be 100% confident, there's always that little bit of doubt, like, oh, wait a minute, man, this is heavier than I thought. So it's always exciting to kind of watch, the heavier the weight gets, the more swag people tend to get. And, I mean, my goal obviously is to have, the most confident, biggest headed people walking in the freaking platform, that are able to humble themselves and go out and just destroy everything in their path. But I've noticed, just how I don't really know, like, because I know it's not me, dog, because I'm just there. Um, I notice now, your approach to heavier weight is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing. The techniques, it's getting better with the heavier weight, which is something that we work on and everything. And I think more than anything is you have your commitment to self is a little bit heavier than it was, say, 4 months ago, 6 months ago. Um, like obviously that's you know it's not solely attributed to, just confidence, man. But when was it that the switch kind of turned on? Like, you know what, man, I do this. I can really do this.
After the first meet.
That was like, I can
After
do
the
this.
first meet. After the first meet, I was like, okay, we got this.
Ah, okay. And so now, like, I mean, shit, fast forward, bro. Like, we knocked the first meet out, got the second one out the way. We qualified for Nats, getting ready for Nats now. Um, like, what are you looking forward to the most as far as going to Nats?
I think really just like having the most fun I can have and not being as nervous as I was this past meet. I was still nervous. I just don't want to be nervous. I want to be calm but happy and just have fun
Yeah,
and just lift some fucking weight. Like just lift some
absolutely.
weight.
Man, yeah, I'm about that. I'm excited. Like, I was talking to Derek about it the other day. He's like, bro, this is gonna be a fun meet. I'm like, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know, man. Um,
I'm not even thinking about how many people are in my class, even though it's gonna be crazy stacked. I just want to meet everybody. I want to do as best as I can, compete with myself, and just do. It's my first Nats. Want to have
absolutely.
fun. I want to make it memorable in a good way.
Yeah, man. I feel like it's gonna be more than memorable. I think you're gonna have the time of your life. Um, you know, I don't know how much the fam's gonna try to come, but that's me. I mean, I know a lot of them are gonna try to come. I'm like, man, I don't know where we're gonna put y'all, but we'll figure it out.
It's the cold. You know we got to bring the
Yeah,
cold.
man. Like, I just, what's that been like? I mean, because, like, again, what's it like? Like, because I mean, I remember I think when you first started, I was like, listen, man, we got like a full support team. Like, it ain't no joke.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, and I think the funny thing is, I think you thought I was like kind of joking about it, like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's like, for real though, like,
No, I felt
we
like I
got a
had an
family.
entourage.
Yeah, like, we got a family here, man. Like, I mean, how's that being a part of the fam like this? Because, like, I honestly, I don't know how people feel about it. Because it was something that I set out to do, but I didn't really know if it was gonna work. I mean, come on, man. Like, you can't get all these people to do, to really buy in. But it's like a for real team, like a family. Um, how is that? Like, I don't
It's
even.
been great. It's been
Yeah.
great. And like I really don't know how comfortable I would have felt if it was just like I feel like I'm not alone. All of us are getting tortured by you.
Oh my God, calm down. It's not even that bad, dude. Like,
No, I'm
there's really
joking.
only one right now. Scarface is the only one that's really going through hell. It's because he asked for it. Shout out Andrew. Uh, like, he asked for it. He wanted to go up weight classes and he wanted more hypertrophy in his block. I'm like, all right, dog. You want to die? That's on you. And you want to try to put on weight? Okay, okay. Like, he's the only
No,
one
we're
that I
not. We're
am
not
will.
getting tortured.
Oh, he is. I guarantee you, I am putting him through the ringer. It is what it is. I mean,
Mhm.
in my bodybuilding people, but they're asking for it too. You know what I mean? But, like, like,
I mean,
that's really it. The rest of y'all, man, y'all got smooth sailing, man. Y'all are powerlifters. Y'all don't even have to do. Y'all can do
we
anything.
it's so much fun. Like I feel like it really just connects. Everybody just
Right.
connects. There's no one that feels like oddball out. Like
Yeah.
that's really the blessing. Like I don't feel like I'm oddball out, even though I
Right.
don't train with y'all every day. Like
Yeah.
now I have Tristan there at TSS. We still roll up to SB whenever we can to
Yeah.
strength build. Like it doesn't feel awkward at all. It feels like I can count on anybody. I honestly feel like if anything happened to me, I could count on any single one of y'all to like back me
Yeah.
up.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Oh, you're gonna get. Oh, it's crazy because you're about to get the invite, man. Like, so, because, like, you never been in a
I don't
pit.
like that laugh. I don't like
Like,
that laugh.
you get the pit invite because, like, once we get, like, when April hits, it's like a bit of a game change. Like, the gears kind of change, and so you start getting the pit invites, man. Like, and for those people that know the pit's my garage. It's my mad lab. Um, it was open to a select few during they were only my people, really,
Pandemic.
during the pandemic. But then, like, once the pandemic shut it down, and people started opening back up gyms and stuff, I made the pit invite only. And, like, so it's got to be, in order to get into the pit, like, you got to be invited. So, like, hey man, can I swing by? Like, nah, bro. Like,
It's closed.
can't. It's closed. Like, so it's my lab. It's where I think of all the new stuff I want people to do. It's where I literally I'll watch TV while thinking of like different programs, like just all kind of stuff. All happens there. And so Jazz is, she's gonna get her first invite, what I'm saying, since she
Mm.
qualified for Nats. It's different. You know what I mean? And it really, the big thing with the pit is it's only open, what I'm saying, when it's over, it's got to be over 90 degrees. Like, you got to be able to sweat. You got to be like, feel like you're almost in hell.
Man,
Um,
we
we were,
both were raised in Texas. We know what that
yo,
is.
it averaged, like, man, there was a couple times it was like 120 in there, and people were like, hey man, I'm feeling a little light here. Like, hey, well, you better go home, cause we ain't stopping. Um,
Drink some water.
so yeah, so it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna get dirty. It's gonna get dank. Here's the cool thing, man. For those people that they do follow the Twitch and everything, like, we're gonna live stream some of those, so you guys will get a chance to kind of see us go in. You're just gonna see
And
Jazz,
die.
Jazz damn near dying or whatever, man. But I'm gonna try to get with Virus to get us some cool stuff for the pit. To see if we can have some training stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited, like, because your numbers are growing the way they're growing, and I mean, I don't know, the sky's the limit, and I think the biggest thing that I think that's made me happy having you around has been your ability to just, like, I mean, not only, I mean, you trust me, but like, when I ask you to slow down, you'll slow down. And
Hmm.
I I think as a coach, that's one of the most amazing things when you have an athlete that is of your caliber, that is like Derek, um, you know, cusp of or right at world class level, that are willing, like, all right, I need to hit the brakes. All right, cool, I'll hit the brakes. Um,
Yeah.
because it's
There's a
about, I
time and a
mean,
place,
yeah,
always.
man, I mean, and for some people don't really believe in the longevity thing. Um, for me, I'm a big believer in longevity, but not necessarily from the perspective of lifting, but of life. You don't want to be running your body into a brick wall more times than necessary and not be able to hold your kids later. Or, God forbid, you'll put yourself in a position where you can't have kids or whatever it might be. So for me, my big thing is, I mean, I want you guys to have the time of your life, but not at the expense of your health. And so I'm a big, I mean, ask Jasmine, she's my witness. I'm like, hey man, that was good, but hey, we need to take some off. Or hey,
Hmm.
on a spreadsheet, I'll put in big bold letters, don't go over. Like, just to make sure, like, hey
Or
man,
you told me to go home.
yeah, like, hey, you need to go to the crib. Like, it's just, I mean, for me, there's so much lifting left in you, and we want to make sure you get to it. And I'm a firm believer in that. You know what? You may only get 2.5 added to your total, but you do 2.5 every year for 10 years. Yo, that's 25 keys that you just added to your total. 25 keys is a lot to add to a total. Don't matter where you're at. So, I mean, a gain is a gain, regardless if it's a kilo or 10. Um, we're just fortunate because we're just adding hella kilos right now, and I'm cool with that. Hopefully, we keep that going. Um, but yeah, like, so, this is really something that I like to get into, because I just, I don't know, man. I just feel like, it's always there's always a time and place, kind of like you said earlier, for things and for subjects, man. You know, the one thing that I'm starting to notice, especially with, especially now, um, not just with Instagram, but with social media, man, is, you're getting a lot of quality people that are lifting, you know what I mean, and they're doing really well. They're moving a lot of weight, and they may not have the traction and or following, that other people, have. Do you feel like it's still one of those things where, if I show a little bit more skin, I'll get more following? If I show a little bit more skin, I'll get more people to pay attention to what I'm doing? Or, do you feel like, these people are coming to see my lifts? Um, is Yeah, I guess that's a two part. If no, then cool. If yes, like, is there some type of pressure? Like, what? I want people to see what I'm doing. I want people to recognize my skill, but I don't feel like I can do that without showing skin, or I don't feel like they're seeing me like they're seeing another girl, or another guy, because this guy's left with his shirt off. Like, do you feel like, it's we're still in that era where, sexiness sells, sexiness draws eyes? Or is it one of those things, like, I think more so now than ever, it's people are paying attention to the content that I'm giving rather than how I look.
That's a really deep question. Um, to kind of put it to where I know Steffi Cohen touches on this a lot, and she really inspires a lot of, I guess, women to think about that, and other guys too, because it's not just for women. But I personally, I don't feel like I'm pressured. I just post what I want. You
Right.
like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. You can get off. I don't care. It's
Right.
more like I just kind of want to post what I do. Sometimes I feel like I post too much, but I mean, I post what I want. And if you roll with it, you roll with it. If you don't, you don't. That's cool. I mean, you
Right.
can go on about your day. But I don't think I've ever felt pressured to do so. But I do think a lot of people don't have the exposure that they should get because of like what their numbers are, what they do. So that's
Right.
definitely a big thing. I see that a lot. Like a lot of people will just post for what the clout. They'll post for the clout. They'll post just to get, reactions and stuff like that. And I really just want to post like what I train and what I do and just my journey. Like I want to be able to have some type of way to document it.
I
So
believe it. Yeah.
that is a really deep question. I have to get into that like later, but personally, I feel like it is still affected in social media, and a lot of people are affected by it in social
Mhm.
media. I feel like a lot of people don't get credit, and I feel like people get credit who don't necessarily deserve it.
Oh yeah.
But that's everywhere. I just my stance. I post what I want. You post what you want. That's cool. We follow each other. Like we like what we put out there. I think a page really personifies like a personality in somebody, and if somebody likes that, they'll follow you. So
Okay. So okay, I'm with that and with that. So we'll take it a step further. So I mean, since a page does, obviously, represent a person, do you feel like there's a point right now where people's page are people who they say they are on their page, or is their page a persona? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I could say, Jazz Lips and Jasmine, you guys are the same, one and the same. You're the same person on and off social media. You know what I mean? Like, again, that's why I rock with you. I don't do fake. But
mhm.
but my I guess my question is, are we still in the era where a page is a person who they are on the page is more persona than who they are in real life? Are we running into more of that, or people are actually who they say they are? Because
uh,
I'm running into some fugazi people, man. I say it. I don't even care. It's my show. Say something.
it is your show. You can do it and say whatever you want. That's true. Uh, I feel like I've met some people that their page doesn't really give what they are when I meet them in
Right.
person, and I've also met the exact same person that I
Right.
see on their page. And that's why it's so refreshing, because even though you don't talk to them on a daily basis, you can just go on their page and see what they posted that day or their story, and
Yeah.
you feel like you had a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And like they post what they are, and there's people that really don't, if they don't post and they're very private, that's just how they are in person. Like,
Yeah, man.
you know what I mean? Like I know you had done the podcast with Jordan. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, but I say Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jordan
Jordan.
Patton.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So she's really quiet and she's really like timid sometimes. And you can tell like she'll just post and she'll get off. And then she doesn't really post as much. She's not like super, super
Yeah.
interactive as other people are. And I think that really personifies like who she is. And then just people don't post because they're so busy. Like they're just busy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
But I
man.
I don't know. Personally, I just feel like I've met both sides. And so
Yeah.
I think it still comes across.
So who so far has been the dopest person you met? Like, yo, you are exactly like you are in your page.
Man, you don't point me out like that. I would have to say you, but you're gonna say to pick somebody else.
Man, you better pick somebody else. That don't
Nah,
even
I think
count.
I think I think it's really close friend that I've made this year is Tessa Willis. She's
Yeah.
on Instagram. She's Test Your Strength. She really is who she posts. Like she has been the most courageous person. She's helped me through so much, and she really is. She's the one that started honorable community powerlifting, and that to me has been one of the greatest impacts. And I've just seen it also like meeting tons of different people. Like when I was up in Houston last weekend, like a lot of people are just really touched by it, and like I'm just so proud of her for being so brave and courageous to put herself out there with
Yeah.
her own mental health, which also kind of inspired a lot of other people to put it out there, especially men, since there's a big stigma there too. So I really feel like I look up to her and her page and what she does all the time.
Word up. I honestly, man, I feel ill saying like I haven't really gotten to know Tess that well, man. Like I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like I already know her. You know what I mean? That's weird.
She's an absolute
You
sunflower.
know what I
She's just
mean?
a
Like
sunflower.
like it's some people you feel like you already know. Like I feel like let's sit down and chop it up. You want some coffee? I got some coffee. I don't even like
Hmm.
coffee. You like coffee? Okay. I do want to touch on this because you mentioned it. I tell you, I'm just picking them. So we talked about, Tess putting her mental health out there. That's what's up. And just how, especially with men, and mental health, us not really wanting to put our mental health out there, our mental health issues out there. Um, I think I do want to talk because I actually talked to one of my homeboys about this, about just black men in general and how we don't like talking about mental health, like we don't like dealing with mental health, um especially in our communities because it's viewed as such a point of weakness. um you know um I do want to touch into the not necessarily Latinas, but I mean like the I guess the Latin community in general.
Like minorities.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially with the men. Like I just in it from personal experience, man. I've seen it, man. You know, um, Latino men not necessarily wanting to, show their vulnerability. Um, you know, and again, minorities in general, we tend to be, tougher skin, especially the men. That seems to be like the stigma that you have to show how strong you are. You have that machismo is just at an all time high on all ends. Um, is that something that I mean, like I said, if you feel free to discuss because you're a counselor. Um, are are there some notes or some advice that you could give, especially these young men out here, um, that are maybe struggling with just being showing their vulnerability, um, having that open line of communication with one another. Is there like any advice that you could give any of them?
Since so like I really appreciate that, like you're asking about that. It's something that I've seen a lot and dealt
Uh-huh.
with a lot. It kind of it's how do I put it? If men don't address their mental health, it affects women.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, like it just does, and there's no other way to put it. Like, and it affects everybody else around them. And no matter what gender, who you are, where you come from, like you can only take so much until you
Right.
have to address it. And a lot of people think that like mental health is just something that's like made up. It's like your brain
Right.
can get sick just like your stomach can. So, and
Absolutely.
there's only so much that people can take before they break. And so you have to take care of your emotions, you have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of your energy, like you said, your peace.
Yep.
And I feel like instead of kind of like telling people or joking about it, if a guy comes and tells you like, hey, I'm going through some stuff, like you just sit there and listen. If you can't offer help, or if you don't feel like you're in the right place to offer advice, or hey, maybe you should go about it like this, which is what people get trained to do, right? Just listen and just make sure that people don't feel like
Right.
they're alone. I think when people go through like some mental health crisis, they just feel like they're alone and they can't relate to anybody. So if that person's like, you know what, like I've felt like that before too, they won't feel as weird, and then you guys can talk about it and they'll feel better because they know that they're not the only ones going through it.
Right. Like I just, man, like man, that's one of the things, man. Like I learned early. I can say this, from personal experience. I learned early to like kind of share my feelings regardless of like how we viewed it. Um, because my mom and dad, they both went to counselors. And they both talk to people, and I mean my family, we have the males, actually the male side, they have we have a history of both manic depression and bipolar. So, it's one of those things like you need to make sure that you talk about it. You make sure you tell how you feel, where you feel mentally. Like I've been fortunate because I mean I haven't really been affected by it, but my dad's affected by both. Um, and so, to see a man that you look up to so much, suffer from this mental illness and not really knowing what to do to help him.
How to
Uh,
help, yeah.
yeah, like you just don't know, and a lot of times, counselor will be like, you just gotta listen to him. Sometimes he wants to talk, and I mean, since you're his son, you're the closest thing he has to a confidant at this point. Because some like, because a lot of times, he didn't want to share with my mom how he's really feeling or whatever. So I would just sit there and listen, man, and to hear how heavy, you know, the weight feels on the shoulders, it's something crazy. And I think I will never forget what my daddy said to me, man, and it changed everything for me in terms of my views of mental illness. Because again, I didn't know. I was like, oh man, daddy, you just gotta be positive. You just gotta be positive. And he told me straight to my face, he goes, I want to be positive, baby, but it's like I'm trapped in my own mind. It's like I'm trapped in a cell in my own mind. And no matter how hard I shake to get out, I can't get out. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's pretty wild because it's if you don't take care of like what's going on up here and if you don't get it out, like you won't ever be able to fix anything.
No, man.
Like sometimes it like I like to think about it as you have this big ball of yarn that's just all like mixed up with different colors.
Yep,
Once you talk about it, it starts kind of organizing itself. And once you kind of
absolutely.
like not internalize and you externalize, okay, these are my issues, you might be
Right,
able to see more objectively and you might be able to like put yourself in their shoes and like
right,
okay, why they feel like they can't talk to so and so or why they feel like
right.
so sometimes just listening helps so much. Like you have no idea. If you just sit there and listen, it
Just
helps.
listen. And you learn a little something, man. And I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, I feel bad saying it, but I feel like, we're in a day and age where everyone is so opinionated. Everyone has something to say about everything. Everyone has judgment to pass on somebody for whatever. Everyone feels like what they have to say is just as important as anyone else. I blame a lot of that on social media because everyone feels like they have a platform and everyone feels like they're like pseudo famous enough to speak on whatever. But I also do like the fact that people talk so much, using that talk and using that dialogue. I feel like this is the best time of all times to for the normalization of dialogue, to be able to sit down and listen to somebody, have them listen to you, to be able to hear somebody's point. um you know I think, I think there should be a huge normalization in terms of the deciphering of hearing versus listening. um I hear a lot of people, there's only a few that I actually take time to listen to, and
Hmm.
that's facts. um but I feel like you do a good job of doing that. The breaking down of barriers for other people. And again, a lot of that's just, you automatically are diffusing just because you're a welcoming face, welcoming heart. So that diffuses a lot of people. That breaks down a lot of people's defenses and gives them opportunity to kind of relax. Like, all right, I feel like I know this girl. I feel like I can talk to her. It's easily identified. You can identify with a person that way. Secondly, because you can break down their defenses, just initially just by being nice, then there's this opportunity to listen versus hear. And I think you do a good job. From the few times actually watched you interact with people, you do a really good job because you do it with me. I literally watch you hearing and then immediately go from hearing to listening to what I'm saying, um, which is it's huge. But to see you do it with another person, like, obviously, I can be proud. I'm proud of all my people, but it's always super super dope to see somebody doing that. That doesn't necessarily have to, but making that conscious effort and or choice to listen to someone.
Yeah.
And again, like you're one of the best at it. Which in turn makes those people around you, kind of follow suit. um Again, have you just has like and again, I'm gonna say this because I don't think some people may view it this way, but um I'm a huge believer in this. I believe listening to a person is a skill, um and it's honed over time. Some people are born with it, but it's a skill that one can acquire and perfect, if actually time is put into it. Has that been like a skill that you've always had, or is that some skill that you've really had to work on, like really listening to what people have to say, or is this kind of like a nurturing thing that you just always had?
I feel like naturally I'm nurturing. I think that over time I've had to build the skill of listening. And I think that had to happen once I realized that like sometimes so it kind of happened when let's say a couple of arguments with family members here and there, or
Yeah,
because arguments happen with people no matter what, like no matter who you talk to, you're gonna have an argument, like that's just human nature.
yeah,
You're gonna have a disagreement. So I feel like once they started kind of getting in the way and like my temper would kind of blind me, I wouldn't see the message behind what they were saying.
right,
And it's not always sometimes that some said like things that people do or they don't say is the real message. And so, if like let's just say if somebody is telling you something that hurt them, it's like
there's also something else behind that, and it's something that
Right.
you're doing. You have to change that. And
Right.
so I feel like having like learning to listen and put it in a different perspective, or even just talking to somebody else about it, but like not mentioning names or nothing, but just kind of like talking about the issue, getting their perspective helps you learn to see it in 3-4 different ways.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And put it in context. You can't just like take what you believe and then put it. You have to like take it. Okay, what have they been through? What
Yeah.
are they in right now? And like then you can understand why they're doing what they're doing, saying what they're saying, and then you can actually help.
I feel that because that's always been a kind of a problem of mine is just really projecting my feelings onto another person without really giving them an opportunity to explain themselves. Uh, I'm really old school in my way of thinking sometimes, man, with people just because I'm like, you know what, man, we all have the same 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I just don't get it. And a lot of times if I don't get it, I automatically kind of shut off. And I'm willing to admit that, you know what I mean? And that's something that, that over the years I've tried to get better at. Um, Again, I'm fortunate. I feel like any male, you know what I'm saying, that is a hard-headed dude like myself, the best thing for you is to be around like strong females that are willing to tell you how they feel, strong people that are willing to tell you, hey, this is how we feel, and just being able to sit down, keep your mouth shut, and listen. I work with these cheer girls every day, all day. You know what I mean? I have all my female lifters every day, all day. You know what I'm saying? My female bodybuilders and fitness girls every day, all day, and just listening over and over and over. And the cool thing about being with female athletes is you just there's a certain level of confidence that you guys have. It's just like, hey, this is how I feel. These are the facts. This is what I need. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. And you're my coach. I love you to death, but you're my tool to get there. And
Mhm.
so there's this level of respect, but at the same time there's this level of like, hey man, I need your help, and this is how we need to get there. Let's do it together. You have an opportunity to listen and really be, have your sympathies and your empathies, and sometimes your apathies. It's just like, all right, you know what, man, you just no, that no, no,
Just full of it.
get out of here. But then a lot of times it's like, you know what, man, you gotta care. And I think the biggest thing that's happened for me being around females so much is it breaks your heart over and over and over and over, and it softens your heart. So you tend to be more understanding. You tend to listen twice as much as you speak. And honestly, man, you fall in love with the process of making them, helping them be the best version of themselves. And there's nothing like seeing somebody that you envision them doing well and them exceeding your expectations. And so you, as a hard-headed man, I'm like, yo, I'm addicted to that feeling. That's one feeling that I will go to my grave trying to replicate over and over and over, is trying to see. I mean, my guys, it is what it is. I know that feeling, but I will never know what it's like to be a female going out there and just crushing whatever goal that I wanted to crush, knowing the unsurmountable pressures that you guys are under, at all times, knowing that there is you know this unspoken yet super super tangible glass ceiling that you guys have to try to break through every single time. And so for me, I'm like, you know what, man, let me help them as much as I can, as much as they'll allow me to do, and try to help them get to this dope ass point. And so again, leaning into kind of what you're saying about just being able to listen, and leaning into what you're saying in terms of realizing that their journey and your journey are two different things altogether. And you never know what they're going through. I completely identify with that. Resonates with me, man. I'm on it. I'm trying not to talk so much. I have a million questions that just keep.
Get 3-hour podcast. I like it.
Oh man, I mean, this is what I do, right? I do this. um so far, I will ask you this, man, because I know you don't just lift, and I know that you don't just go to the beach and go kick it with family to get away. And what's some ill stuff about you that people don't know, that that they're like, oh crap, I like that too. Like, what are some don't knows that people don't know about Jazz that you would like for people to know?
Hmm. I don't know. I'm just such an open book. I think that's pretty much it.
Yes, sir. Podcast going pretty good so far, right? Right. Now, this particular portion is going to be brought to you by Virus International. Dude, some of the dopest performance wear in the game. I got all the stuff from shorts to leggings to shirts to sweats. They got it all. Hats, socks. Hey, they even got singlets. So, if you want to raise your game up a little bit, it might be time to go to Virus. Now, you can go to Virus a few different ways, okay? Number one, you can always go to virusinternational.com. Right there, VIRUSINTL.com. Boom, and you'll be right there. Or, you can always go to Virus on IG. Just type that in, and guess what? You're going to find them. Or, you can go to ellismcclain.com. Did I say that right? No, I didn't. ellismcclain.com. And you'll be able to go to the bottom of the page, and there'll be a link there that links you to Virus. Now, and again, if you want to save some money, just use the code Let's Eat 10% off at the end of checkout. Boom, you're good to go. Help your boy out. Virus. You know what it is. Let's get back to the show.
I don't know. I have to think about it. Like, what lines are you trying to?
I don't know. I'm asking you, cause like, you know, like, okay, for me, example, people don't know, I collect license plates. That's my thing.
Oh yeah.
I love collecting license plates. You know what I mean? I love eating snacks. I love reviewing snacks because I was getting fat. I had to chill on the snack reviews. Trust me, after Natch, these bootleg reviews are gonna go crazy.
Oh Lord. Okay. So I guess my thing would be it's such a weird, don't judge. I feel like people won't judge because people do it too, but I'm into all that like creepy, crawly, like serial killer shows. Like I like to learn about serial killers. I wanted to be like a forensic psychologist. Like when I was like in middle school, I was like, yeah, I want to be like the person that like interviews all these killers and like find out why and like why they do it. And I'm still like that. If I find those like creepy movies, like what's that one?
Like unsolved mysteries and all that kind of stuff. You like that?
Yeah, unsolved mysteries. Like the other one about the killer in California. I can't think right
now. Oh God,
all that
man,
stuff.
I can't do that.
I don't know. Yeah, I like all the like the Jeffrey Dahmer, all that stuff. I don't know why.
Well, you know what I do. You know what I do like. I kind of agree with you a little bit. I don't necessarily like maybe what they did, but I always oh gosh.
I'm so curious that like how they get there.
The power of their influence. Like how
did they appear so normal?
Yeah.
They were able to get away with so much.
Absolutely, man. Like I mean, how put Charlie Manson on the shirt? You know what I'm saying? But I was always
fascinated.
So fascinated as to how his power and persuasion was so nth degree. Like, how were you able to do that? If you were able to do that for evil, imagine had you switched that for good.
For
you know
good.
What I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I'm like, man, let me figure out what old boy does. And again, for me, I guess it's the mental sciences behind the influence that I guess I like. But as far as the show's like, man, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking, what if that was me, or what if that was one of my homeboys? Like, what if that was one of my homegirls? That was one of my people. That was like my mama, my sister. Like, so I just mentally draw the line. But I like facts. So if you give me like 2,000 facts about Charlie Manson or 2,000 facts about Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm like, sorry, what? He ate how many brains? What? Like I'm about that life. But like if you, yeah, dude, God.
It's just the creepy crawly stuff. Yeah, like I don't know what it is. I'm like, how many women did he murder? He cut off who's what? Like
right. Like, okay, so you're in a creepy crawly weirdo shows. Right.
I love
AC/DC. I know that.
I love AC/DC, and I love anything that has recess in it. Anything.
Here's the thing. This is where we differ because I don't like Reese's, and people know this. They know I don't like it. I'm going on record saying that, but I'll eat it every now and again, like if it's a cool combination I never had. And also, I'm not that big of an AC/DC fan.
Wow. I like everything. I literally like everything other than Screamo and like death metal. Like I listen to literally anything. I roll with anything and anything.
I love both of them. Yeah, so
that is so weird.
How about this? Because this is something. Because again, I'm super y'all. Okay, so you guys know how it goes. Jasmine, I know, but like, so you guys know how it is. Like I'll let people know like, hey, I have so and so coming on, so and so coming on. You know what I mean? Like I have like it's a panel of like I want to say like 20, 25 people. I'm like, hey man, so I got this person coming on, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh word, okay. What about this? What about this? And so sometimes like they'll give me ideas to ask for questions, and if I like them, I'll hold on to them. If I don't, I don't. Here's one that one of the girls asked.
Oh.
When did you figure out that yellow was your color?
Oh, I just think when someone told me that yellow looks good on me because my personality matched it, like the vibrancy and the energy and just
Bet.
the vibe of yellow. And I was like, I
So
give the vibe of yellow. Are you serious?
so is yellow your favorite color, or is that your favorite color to wear?
Well, I think it secretly is because I have a pair of yellow shoes that I just refuse to take off. And now that I have yellow leggings, I just want to wear them every day. And I just don't because I feel like people would think I don't wash them. I
I
think I
don't.
like the pastel colors. I like the pastel yellow, the pastel pink.
Facts.
Like I haven't done my nails in forever, but they're like pastel pink. You see
Oh,
that?
girl, that looks
The
like my toes right now.
I know. I seen them.
Bro, I
Stop
was no.
with
Here's the thing. I was supposed to go get my pedicure today, but I was in there
the
getting the
truck
truck, man.
with a truck that's so big. You ain't got no business having a truck that big.
Calm down, dude. Listen, that's not even my big. The biggest truck I had, I used to have an excursion. That it had a I had an excursion with a 10-inch lift. You know what I'm saying? The 22s.
Or what?
For any listen, you drive a truck that big, you can do whatever you want. West Texas, West Texas. Let's go.
I know.
Okay, I'll ask you. I'm gonna ask you this because I mean, I'll ask you this, and then we'll get to the questions, and we'll get out of your hair. Um, so really, like this, I mean, obviously, I love you and I appreciate you. You know what I mean, and you mean the world to me. Um, and it's weird, it's weird for me as as a coach to really you know it's easy to put into words how a person like how you feel about a person, how much they mean to you, but then when you start when you watch their evolution and everything, he's like, oh my god, like all you guys mean so much to me, you know what I mean? And it's weird that I try to, even with the program and everything, like daily check-ins and all that stuff, I try to make sure that I load my morning down as much as possible so I get everything done in the morning so I can have my afternoons free so I can answer any questions for anybody.
Mhm.
And I mean, because it sucks, because sometimes you don't get a chance to sleep, but then you get a chance to communicate. So I mean, you mess me all times a day. I'm like, yeah, this. Um, so this journey, this so far for me, this journey's been dope, man. And and I guess I guess I'm just starting to like the thankful session. But so far, man, like what is this like really? What does this lifting stuff mean to you? You know what I'm saying? Like from the and I mean, I'm not asking. Like, it don't have to be super deep or anything, man. But you know, from where you started, right, point A to where you are right now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even to B yet. Like what does it mean to you? What has this journey meant to you so far? Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I like that question. I think like so when I answered the question before about when I kind of got my self-esteem, I think
Uh huh.
bottom line is that powerlifting saved me from so much damage I could have done to myself.
Facts.
Just not necessarily needing to do that damage. It's just like it's weird. I don't say I'm addicted to it, but it's like when people are at that point in their life where they look for something to fill them up,
Right.
they choose the wrong stuff. And I was on that path of choosing like the wrong stuff.
Right.
When I found this, it like just made my heart so full and I just want to keep going as much as I can. And like
Absolutely.
you and other people on the team have inspired me to just try and start giving back and not be necessarily as like selfish as some other people can get.
Right.
I just think that's really bottom line. That's what it is. And then now, starting with honorable community powerlifting, trying to just get people to have a bigger community all over Texas, like have people be like, I want to go try that out, like that gym out. And, oh, they don't have to worry about not knowing people because there's
Right.
people. And then the more people you talk to in powerlifting, the more you realize that it's also something that has saved them from so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest thing for me. It saved me from so much self-destruction.
I'm with that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. That's good. That's good. Dang, that's good.
Crying. Don't start crying. You
No,
can
I'm not crying. I was trying to think of like, I mean, I
see
was
my
trying to think of a follow up. Like, I just, I mean, huh?
see my
Oh,
screen.
you get out of here. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I think that was the most emo I've been, and I kept tears in because I like, still got a job to do. Uh,
No wonder you were acting all weird.
like I'm the biggest crybaby man, but like I knew that we had a job to do. We had to finish, you know what I'm saying? And for me, you know, again, a lot of it's just example. Like, you know what, I can't act like the job is finished, so
But it's not.
you
It
can't
was.
act like the job is finished. I'm like, all right, cool, we did well. Now it's time to move on to the next one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I I'm a firm believer in momentum, man, and I feel like we're at a good place in terms of building momentum. So I want to keep that momentum going. So it's cool. We'll celebrate for like, what I'm saying, 2.5 seconds, then all right, it's back to work.
Mhm.
Because the bench isn't where we need to be. And for me, I'm like anything less than, 9 for 9, I feel like I didn't do my job as a coach. So, I'm like, I got work I gotta do. So obviously I went back, looked at every attempt, like, all right, I can do better with this, I can do better with that, I can do better with this, I can do better with that. We gotta work on this, we gotta work on that. Okay, so in this part of the calendar, we're gonna work on this and that. So for me, like the job's not finished, especially as a coach. Um, I have to. I mean, for me, anything less than perfection is my job. I didn't do my job. My job is make sure that you hit every attempt, and by you not doing that, I'm like, all right, I have holes in my game. I got to work on that.
Yeah,
So
getting there. Bench is getting there. We're working
yeah.
on it.
So I mean, I just, I'm proud of the work that you put together. I'm proud of the work that we've been able to amass in the time we were able to do it. And it's crazy. I feel like we could do a meet this weekend and eclipse all that stuff. But again, the whole idea behind it is to make sure that you're just in the best mental space possible. And I think for me, that's been my biggest goal with you, is not necessarily the strength, because I feel like if you're there mentally, the strength's gonna follow every single time. Um, and so I don't know. I think it's been, for me, it's been fun, and I guess people that are listening and watching, they're just really, it's not even like for those that don't know who Jazz is, you get a chance to know who she is, and for those people that know who she is, you're just getting a chance to see pretty much, I guess, how our relationship is in terms of the dialogue that we have.
Yeah.
Because we do talk a lot, I guess, and we do. Oh,
Sorry. Spam your phone.
yeah, dude. We have like I mean, honestly, pretty much all my people, man, they can just be hitting me up at all times of night. Again, part of me, I put Scarface through so much hell because Scarface will hit me at 1 o'clock like it's nothing. Because, oh, I know you're up, I know you're probably up looking at the Japanese lifter. So I'm like, damn, Scarface, I at least want to get a nap in before they start. Like, but it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But it's cool that I have people, that just feel that open with me. I'm like, hey, just hit me whenever, come because that's maybe when your time. Um, but I've been very, very fortunate, man, to be a part of your journey up to this point, man, and I'm so excited for this next half. I mean, it's cool to bang on them boys on the local level, man, but it's another beast to bang on them on that national level. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited for you, and I feel in my heart of hearts that you're gonna be a champion. You know what I'm saying? And I need to do my job to prep you for that in every way possible. And I feel like that with every freaking one of my people. I feel like every one of my people are going to be a champion. It doesn't matter if it's local level, it doesn't matter if it's national level, it doesn't matter if it's international. I feel like every one of my people have the ability and the capability to be a champion. I mean, and you might be able to, you might be the champion of that meet, you might be the champion of that flight, you might be the champion of your PRs, but I believe everyone has the opportunity to be their best version. And if your best version is better than other people's best version, guess what? Then your best version is the winner. Um, I really,
Mhm.
I just really need people to know that, you know, you got to be just as excited and just as confident in your lifter's ability as you are in your coaching ability. And I mean, I feel like I take on your form when I'm out there, man. I just feel super confident, what I'm saying, when you're out there lifting. So I I'm excited to take this to Daytona and put people
Oh, it's
on
gonna be
notice.
fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. You know what I'm saying? And we'll hit some PRs, open some eyes up. You know what I'm saying? And get you that respect I feel like you so rightfully deserve. Um, now we're gonna get to the good part, man. This is my favorite part. This is when we get to find out about, where their heads at. So everyone knows we have the Rushmore. Everyone knows that we have people's top 4. There's people that hate on it, like Rushmore was taken from a suit. Man, I don't care about all that. Okay, I don't care about all that. The Rushmore, it's symbolic of a top 4. So you can take your PC, stick it where the sun don't shine.
Top 4 powerlifters or top 4 any.
Your top 4 anything. You know what? We do like Amanda. Shout out Amanda, because Amanda did what Amanda wanted to do. Amanda did 2 Rushmores. So you can have a personal Rushmore, you can have a powerlifting Rushmore, or you can have a powerlifting new school or a powerlifting old school. You can have 2 Rushmores. All right?
I'll do the Rushmore of my life, and then I'll do the Rushmore of powerlifting for me.
All right, Rushmore of your life, go.
Yeah, Rushmore of my life for sure. Number 1 has got to be my mama. My mom's, yeah, like she is the definition of strong, mentally, emotionally. Like I just try and take form of my mom with whatever I try to do. Just be as like strong. Obviously, take breaks, ask for help, but she modeled and like molded the person I became. Mount Rushmore on my personal level 2 has got to be my grandma. My grandma for sure is my mom's mom, my maternal grandma. She has been through a lot, man. She's been through a lot, and she's still there, and she's still standing. She's still fighting. That woman is really strong as well. And I'm gonna make it all women. I'm gonna make it all women. Another one, I've already mentioned Tess before. She is just incredibly strong, brave, courageous, and she's inspired me in so many ways to be open and ask for help. I hate asking for help, but because of her, now I ask for help. And so she's just been a really big and positive impact in my life. And I'm just like blessed to be able to like live with her and be with her all the time. Mount Rushmore, number 4. Number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4. Man, I got to really think. I said it was going to be all women.
It's all good.
It's tough. There's so many people.
There
is. I think Mount Rushmore number 4 in my personal life. It's weird. It's got to be this one professor that I had. This one professor that I had believed in me more than I believed in myself, and I think that really changed my trajectory. She, Dr. Kate Houston, I'll never forget. She is a cognitive psychologist, and she really, honestly, had helped me. And I feel bad for dropping out of the PhD program, but she really was the one who like believed in me when like literally I was like, I can't do this. She was like, no, you can do this. She took me to so many presentations, like really put me on like the research area and just got me connected with so many people, helped me get in. And like, I'll always be grateful for her. She just really was the one who believed in me more than I ever could in my life. So it's got to be her. Mount Rushmore and powerlifting. Obviously, Coach, you're number 1. Obviously.
No, I don't want that.
I know you don't, but I don't care. It's my podcast right now.
That's my bad. That's on me.
No, number one. Yeah, it's got to be you. I think because you put on the idea of just building a community and having people like be there for each other. Kind of like I was just already trying to do, but I think like it really just, you molded that. And then you also molded so much like just confidence and like perseverance, but also like self-love, but also being selfless. Like I was talking to you earlier, you were like, nah, I have to get my people right. I can't think about me first. That's just like so much for me, because not a lot of coaches can be like that. Like they really can't. Some coaches won't answer because they're like, nah, my time is more important, but you're the other way around. So that's why you're number 1. And you can also bench like 415 for I don't know how many reps with your feet up on the bench. Like that's crazy. Anyway, 700 like any week of the day, and deadlift 750 any week of the day. Like just throw it on the bar, he can do it. So you're number 1. Number 2, just because I think she's considered the GOAT of like female powerlifting, is probably, for me, is Kim Wofford.
Absolutely.
Oh, for me is Kim Wofford. Like she's just, anytime she posts is just literally like just grit, perseverance, hard work, like even just pushing at whatever age she's at, she does not care. She's been lifting for like 30 plus years. Yeah. So the fact that she's been doing it for that long, like that alone is just queen shit. Like that's
Right.
queen. So she is number 2. Number 3 for me has got to be. I mean, I haven't really been in it for so long. I'm still learning so many people. Amanda Lawrence.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's crazy every time you go to open IPF and you put like number 1 in the world, mixed gender, she's number 1. On top of all the
Yes.
guys, top of all the dudes, she is number 1.
Hey,
She's
man
number
is
1.
cold, boy. She's cold. She's
What
cold.
the hell? And she's so sweet and
She is.
she's so sweet. And so I just think just because of that, like she just is the perfect example of like you can be stronger than all.
Absolutely. Shout out Amanda. Shout out my girl.
You can be stronger than all the boys and look and do it looking good, right? And all the
Absolutely. Absolutely.
oh yeah, so she's number 3. Number 4 for me, personally, I just really have to just give it to, man, you put me on the spot.
Girl, you knew about this early. What you talking about?
I know. I just didn't give it much thought. I didn't give it much.
Ah.
No, I didn't give it much thought. I just have so many people to choose from. I have so many people to choose from.
That's the best part about it, man. You have
Right?
options. You have options.
I don't know. Like for me, it's just I think perseverance is just number 1. You know,
Yeah. I mean, you got a
Jesus,
solid list. You got, I mean,
it's a bomb.
personally, you got moms, you got grandma, you got Tess, Professor Houston. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You got Kim Walfer, you got Amanda. You listen. You can take me off, and you have 2 spots.
I ain't gonna take you off. I don't know what you're thinking.
Listen, I'm trying to make it easier on you, cause
Well, look, all right. I don't think this is biased because I think, he's young, he's crazy strong. He's also putting Mexicans out on the map. I gotta say Jesus Olivares. Like, I'm sorry.
oh, you can put that. You can put Jesus on there.
I know. I just like he has so much potential still.
Yeah,
And like I don't know why it was crazy. I told him about this too when we were in Houston. I like had a dream that like both of us were at like IPF
yeah.
for our I guess our first time because I don't know if he's been yet or not, but like I think in the open class he hasn't been yet. And we were just both repping the flag, like just standing next to each other, repping the flag, like just having
Yeah,
fun
man.
competing and putting it out there. So I don't know what dream that came from or what, but it's just like I guess it's the pride. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I got to put him on my Mount Rushmore just because of that pride.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. Like that's what's up. Like I'm down with that. I like that. Ah, man, that's a good. That's solid. You got a solid double list, man. Woo. All right. I'm not even gonna debate any of this. I mean, except for me, but whatever.
Oh,
Um,
shush.
but yeah, dude, Jesus is cold, man. He's cold.
He's
I
only
mean,
22.
Amanda, she's nasty with it. Kim is, that's crazy. Kim's like a year older than me and just murdering. Crazy. So yeah,
Like, she could have called it quits a long time ago, but she's like, nope.
yeah, man. Like, what I mean? Like, yeah, Kim is forever the queen, man. And I mean, dude, shout out to Kim. Dude, I need to get her on the podcast. I get another goat. I get Jim Thompson. I get to talk to her in a few days. So I'm like, what? Bro, I ain't even gonna be able to speak, dude. Ooh, man. Fun fact, Jim Thompson was my first crush, my first powerlifting crush. I was like,
No.
yes, Lord. I was like, who is that girl? Like, that ain't no girl. That's a lady. Like, what? Oh man. Yeah, she's married. She got 2 kids. What? I quit. But yeah, man. I think for me the cool thing is that your lists are so female heavy. And that speaks volumes about the growth of the sport. That speaks volumes of the respect that's garnered by this female athlete. Increasingly, it's just the growth is just insane. Um, it's such it's not new, but it's such the growth, especially in the raw division of the female categories, are so just through the roof. I mean the numbers just keep growing, and the numbers keep growing. I'm excited, man, and I feel like you're part of that new wave of just super athletes that are rushing the USAPL, rushing the IPF, rushing powerlifting in general, and just just moving the chains forward. So it's cool, man. I mean, I think that's the best part about being a coach is like, especially if you've lifted and you've competed, now you get a chance to like, all right, kind of low key phase out. And as you phase yourself out as an athlete, you start bringing more people in as a coach, and it's about spreading that knowledge. Um, I mean, while I'm not dead yet, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if I stop right now, I'd be like, I got a few little, I got some left, but it's cool to kind of watch like this new crop of people coming in. Um, but at the same time, I do miss the days of old when it was about the honor of the sport, when it was about you know, the the fellowship, and just the fun of it, and it wasn't about how much following you had or the clout that you could acquire from being on a person's page or whatever. So, you know, I feel lucky that I have an opportunity to have my own crop of people that really echo that idea of like, you know what I mean? It's cool if you follow. If you don't, it's all right. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna keep moving this. We're gonna keep treating people like equals, and we're gonna keep moving this weight. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about treating people right. It's about propelling the sport forward. It's about showing some love, and then at the same time moving as many kilos as you can. And you're a prime example of that. Now, I just gave you as much stall time as one needs to get to the final part of the tradition here
You
at
know,
the
I've been so
circle.
hyped about this all week.
So, so this is how it works. Those that don't know, you're gonna know. At the end of every podcast, I tell my guests, if I found you in an alley, I hold a gun to you. Like the only way you're gonna get out of this alley is you got to be able to recite 15 seconds worth of a song or or a show tune or rap, 15 seconds word for word. If you don't do that, you're not making it out alive. Could you make it out of the alley alive? Yes or no?
Yes.
You can. Okay. So what's your song gonna be then?
My choice of poison is Jay-Z. I've been in
That's
love with
that's right. You told me that. Oh my gosh, it's going with
you said it's one of your favorite songs too. I said you gotta rap.
yes.
You don't want to.
All right. I am going to the clock is right here. I need to start putting a real clock up so people can really see it. All right, you let me know when you're ready.
I'm gonna just play it really low in the background because I'm still.
Ah, you're cheating.
I'm not cheating. Okay. All right. All right. I'll do it. I'll do
All
it.
right, but no, you got it. Go ahead. It's on you.
When you start.
All right, you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
All right, go.
I said, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove. H to the OV. I used to move snowflakes by the OZ. I guess even back then you can call me the CEO of the ROC. Ho! Fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz number one supplier. Flyer than the piece of paper bearing my name. I got the hottest chick in the game. Wear my chain, that's right, ho. Not DOC, but similar to the letters, no one could do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector. My homie Strick told me, dude, finish your breakfast. So that's what I'ma do. Take you back to the dude with the Lexus. Fast forward the jewels in the necklace. Let me tell you, do is what I do to protect us. Shoot actors like movie directors.
Well done. Well done. That is the greatest freaking song recital we have had ever. I don't care what people say. I don't care what Six Pack says. That was that one.
Six Pack gonna be mad. You can't say that.
Six Pack did a full video and song and everything, but does not touch Jay-Z.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
That song is so hype. That song is just so hype. I put it on every time I try to like PR. Every time.
No one touches Hove. No one. I'm sorry.
No one.
I gotta drink my water on that, man. Y'all don't understand what kind of game you think this is. No one touches Hove. No one. Dadgum, I'm hyped now. I might go outside and do some freaking lunges.
You said lunch.
Yeah, man. Look, today's my off day, so I'm like, man, I'm just.
Yours too.
Actually,
it's so boring.
actually, I gotta get. Yeah, it is. I'm gonna get on the bike and ride the bike for an hour, and then just play some COD, whatever. That's how it's an hour, man. What am I gonna do? But listen, I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna let you get off this thing. All right. You know how much I love you. You know how much you mean to me. Like I don't even. I can honestly say I don't think that I could be blessed with just a more amazing person in my life, a more amazing athlete. Um, you know, for those of you that believe in prayer, awesome. For those of you that don't, awesome. But I mean, I'm a firm believer in prayer, man, and I pray constantly, for athletes that can buy into what I'm saying. I pray that that my words aren't mixed, and that that what I'm doing is saturated in wisdom. That I try to do it you know, um, in the most accepting and understanding way possible. And they understand it, even when even when I'm pushing them, it comes out of love. That they're understanding of that. You're a prime example of that. Um, and I think more than anything, I've always prayed that that I be blessed with athletes that'll hold me accountable, which you definitely do. You do that. You keep me on my P's and Q's, and for that I am eternally grateful. Um, I don't know. I've been very, very fortunate to be a part of this process, man. And I mean, we're coming up on a year, soon and very soon. And I mean, we made a lot of progress, and I cannot wait to see what's on the other side of that mountain. Um, this Nats coming up in June is just an introduction of what these people are about to see. And you know what I mean? Like it'll be that first time actually seeing Jazz do her thing live, but it won't be the last. And that's the thing I'm most excited for. Um, I mean, my first Nats, it was just me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have a crew, I didn't have a coach. It was just me and a bunch of just programs that I downloaded and just hoped that they worked. And I wish for everyone, and I'm not saying this to sound like weird, but I wish that I would have had a coach that believed in me as much as I believe in you, like for sure. I wish I had a crew that had my back, like the family has yours, and I think that you're about to do something amazing. Um, I feel like going in, it's for you, it's like cheating because you're literally gonna come in with a gang of people, rooting for you to rock. You know what I mean? And I think that's something, you're literally gonna set the tone for the rest of us. You're starting off nationals for the fam, and then I'm gonna try to continue it, and then Derek's gonna try to close it out. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean. So I think it's awesome that we get to run this race together, man. To go from you know you know working on your competitions, you know what I mean, to being on the same comp with you, man. I'm excited about this. We got some work to do. Um, Obviously, if you have any closing words, the floor is yours. Is there anything you want to say to people? Anything, any last words, anything you want to give?
No, you say you're so grateful for me, but I'm grateful for you.
Nah, man, it ain't about me right now. It's about you.
That's all it is. I just really hope like this kind of puts people onto what a coach and athlete relationship should be like.
I
Just
appreciate that. That means a lot. That really does. It seriously means a lot, man. I am like I'm excited. You know what I mean? If I'm excited I'm just excited to see what the future holds for you, man. It's crazy. Um
yes.
ah, it's not about me, it's about you. So, question, social medias, where can people find you?
Just on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Everyone got these TikToks, and I don't know what else.
I mean, you could always do a TikTok, whatever. I mean,
That's what IG is for.
yeah, I guess you could do the reels or whatever. So
Yeah.
is this Jazz Lifts 69 at all of them?
Yeah. Just not
Okay.
Facebook. Facebook's my real name, but everyone knows my
Okay. And
yeah.
then plug the HC powerlifting, man. Plug that too.
HC.powerlifting. Follow it. Especially
Man,
in Texas. You want to get connected. Get with us. We're going to do an event in April in Houston, so we're going to be back out there. So if anybody can drive to Houston and be at Texas Elite, go ahead and do so. We're going to have one bomb ass workout.
that's a bet. Let me see if we can't get y'all linked up at at the SB2. See if we
That's
can get
what I
y'all.
said. We got to do.
Actually, yeah, let's look in the plan of getting a little event popping off at Shrinkville too, because I gotta. Yup, I got something I want to do anyway. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know me. Now you know her. Jazzy, my girl, you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. Thank you so much for being on this podcast. If you need me, you know where I'm at. I mean, I think that's it. All right, we out.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you like what you saw, like what you heard, if you're on YouTube, make sure you go like, you comment, subscribe. Make sure you tell as many people as you can. I'm trying to blow this bad boy up. If you're on any of the other forms of media, obviously just make sure you subscribe. Tell as many people as you can. I'm trying to think of what else. If you are in need of coaching, clothes, nutrition, swag, you can always go to my website, lsmclaim.com, and we will take care of all your needs, right? We got it all. Hey, that's what it's about. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening and subscribing and commenting and just making this thing blow up as much as it has been. Let's keep it rolling. Appreciate you guys very much.